Hey fish friends, how's it going? I wanted to make a short little video this evening to just talk about this tank. If you've seen my other videos, this used to be a planted community tank that I had established for many years. Actually, it's actually my oldest tank that I have in my current 5 tanks. And recently I pulled all of the plants out of it and put them in my 65 planted South American tank, and also took the fish and distributed the fish between my daughter's community tank and the planted South American tank. So I was kind of deciding what to do. Should I maybe get into doing like a little nano reef tank with some live rock and some clowns? But knowing the maintenance that's required and the fact that I'm very experienced in freshwater and not in saltwater at all, I decided to do something with freshwater. My brother actually put the idea in my head, as he is also a fellow enthusiast of the fish keeping hobby, and actually he's very experienced with smaller tanks and aquascaping, things like that. But he had suggested that I do a shelly tank, and thought it was a great idea. I've always wanted to do a Tanganyika African cichlid tank, and I thought this would be a great way to kind of experience that smaller scale with some shell dwellers. So what we have here is a 16-gallon bow front. Obviously, I've got a power head in there. You can see that. I've got the aeration turned on just because I'm trying to get the bacteria to the beneficial bacteria to kind of take off. I've been feeding it a little bit with some of the fluval cycle, and I do have some old filter media in there from the previous setup. And when I tore it down, I stuck it in the sump of my 75-gallon Malawi tank, so it's kept the bacteria on it. I've got two different filters on here. I've got a hang on the back filter that has the mechanical filtration, the kind with the cartridge and all that kind of stuff that you put in. And then also there's some areas for the bacteria to take hold and have some biological filtration as well. And then I stuck a second hang on the back filter in there that I had from another tank that I'm not using. It's kind of a smaller hang on the back. You can see it's a small outlet tube, or inlet tube actually, in the back there. And that one I actually filled with a bunch of pieces of lava rock that I have that I use in other filters, so that the beneficial bacteria can take hold and kind of have a place to populate in there as well. So mechanical filtration, biological filtration, and then some water movement from the three different sources, the two hang on the backs and then the power head. So power head I can always adjust and turn down the flow and remove the aeration to just have it flow and no bubbles if I want. So the cloudiness that you see is actually not cloudiness, it's just micro bubbles from the air as those bubbles are, breaking at the surface and getting chopped up, etc. But that's fine for now. There's no fish in there, and it's I think it's helpful for getting that bacteria started. The substrate is aragonite, so that is the preferred substrate for African cichlids, as it helps to buffer and keep the pH at a high level. Fortunately, where I live in San Francisco, the pH for my water, where I happen to live in San Francisco, is pretty high. It actually comes out of the faucet around 8.0 pH, and every time I've tested it, it's been right around the 8 mark. So I'm very happy about that. And with the other tanks that aren't African cichlids, a little more challenging to bring the pH down, but I've been successful in having the pH in some of the other tanks below 7. So just takes a little bit of work making sure that you have wood and things like that in there. But the rock. The rock that I put in there, actually I picked up that rock a couple of days ago at a local fish store, and you'd think it'd be pretty simple to place 4 pieces of rock in a small tank, but I probably spent an hour moving it around and asking my wife what she thought, and just kind of playing with it, and I'm pretty happy with where this is now. Also happy that it hides the heater that's behind that large upright piece there on the right hand side. Not sure about plants. I had some Java fern that I threw in there in the back. Tied it to some rocks, and I see one's tied to a shell. And I just threw it in there in the back to kind of see if I like it or not. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or remove it and just have a true, rock, white substrate and shell tank, or maybe leave those in there just for a little bit of contrast in color. So I'm not too worried about keeping it identical to the lake aesthetics. But anyway, the reason for this video is I actually just opened my front door and realized that there was an Amazon Prime box sitting outside that I wasn't. I was actually supposed to come tomorrow, and it was there this evening. So I've got a couple of shells in there that I picked up from a local craft store. But what I wanted to do is do an unboxing. I've never done an unboxing video, so I'm going to open up the box and see what's inside. So pardon me as I adjust the camera here. I already peeled off the label just to because it had my address and all that stuff on there. But anyway, I am going to open this box. And let's see what's inside. What I had ordered, I was having some difficulty finding a local source for snail shells, and after doing some research and speaking to a few people, including my brother, discovered that escargot shells would be really good. I actually called some local French restaurants here in the city and asked them if they had any shells that they could give away, but they didn't have any. So I just figured I'd order them online, and actually this is through a specialty food vendor that sells food grade quality escargot shells available to restaurants and caterers and things like that. So the good thing is that this is safe for human. Obviously we don't eat the shells, but the shells would come in contact with the snails that we would eat if we were to dine at a French restaurant. So it's safe to come in contact with the food that we eat. Obviously I'm going to treat them as I did the other shells. I actually boiled them in some salt water for some time and then cooled them down and rinsed them out very well and put them in the tank. So anyway, I ordered 3 dozen escargot shells, and these are the extra large variety. So there is the bag of shells. So here we go. These are Roland extra large snail shells. These are from France, and there's 36 in a bag. And looking at them, they look really nice. They're actually nicer than I had anticipated versus the photo that I saw on my iPad when I placed the order. And there you can see another closer look. I'm going to go ahead and open these up. Obviously I don't need 36 shells for a small tank that, I probably am going to have 1 or 2 males, and depending on the number of males, anywhere from, I don't know, 4 to 8 females. So, I might have, depending on how many fish I have in there, I might put a total of, 15 or so shells in there, in addition to what I have already. So they have their choice. But here are the shells. Escargot, very clean, no odor whatsoever. Not that I was anticipating any odor, but they are odorless. I just stuck my nose in the bag there. Very clean, very dry, and very light. So not as, sorry about that, not as hard. Well, maybe they are hard. I don't know how to test for hardness, but they're not as dense and as robust as like an ocean-dwelling snail, like some of the other variants that I have in the tank right now. So kind of some nice coloration, some dark, kind of some deep, rich browns with some lighter bands of light brown, beige, etc. Kind of a nice swirl pattern. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and treat these, or treat some of them, and then the others I'll keep in my growing storage box in the basement. That's full of fish equipment and things like that. I'll go ahead and go back on the tank here. I apologize for the kind of the shoddy camera work. I'm actually using a selfie stick that I'm propping up on the table here. But anyway, that's the unboxing of the shells. Hopefully that helps you if you are also looking for shells for shell dwellers. And once I have everything set up, I will make another video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and hopefully you will enjoy my future videos to come. And I'll just kind of get a close-up there of some of the, these are some of the shells I picked up. These are more ocean type, as you can see. And these ones are very thick and heavy. The ones with the black banding on them. So, and like I said, I boiled them pretty significantly and cleaned them. So anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll post another video soon.